let's talk about hikiwasa and the provisional rules in Kendo. I want to explore how these rules affect hikiwasa and what can we do to improve our chances of scoring ippon and avoiding getting hansoku. The most common comment I get about these rules is how hikiwasa is gone and the fight is being taken away from tsubazeriai. I will discuss the rules briefly and I will show you some examples of successful hikiwasa. This is not pro or against the rules, I'm just giving you the information that I have found so far and my opinion. So you're welcome to leave me down in the comments your thoughts and where you think this is going. Also, this video is not about the efficacy of these rules on preventing the spread of viruses, but instead I'm trying to understand the rules and see how we can implement them to improve our kendo. Also, to make sure that hikiwasa doesn't get neglected. I'll be leaving the link down below of the full video from the All Japan Kendo Federation explaining the rules, but to keep it brief, I think the biggest misunderstanding came from this, that you should avoid tsubazeriai. It says that you should avoid tsubazeriai, but not that you must. Tsubazeriai is being restricted, but it's not gone. As a matter of fact, during this year's European Kendo Championship, there was a little bit more information shared where it was said that the amount of time spent in tsubazeriai should not be longer than one breath of the shimpan, which is still not very concrete. We do get the recommendation to perform hikiwasa assertively at the moment of contact or execute a technique after tagatari. So given that hikiwasa is not gone, how do we avoid getting penalized for staying too long in tsubazeriai or attacking at the wrong time when we're separated? Watch these two clips that I got for you. What do you see here? The tension and interaction are different, right? Let me know in the comments which one do you prefer, which kendo do you prefer, and which kendo do you practice based in these two videos. Both clips are within the same set of rules, but I think that the provisional rules could be used as a way to experiment how to promote a kendo that is focused more on the fight rather than playing on the rule, especially when we get reminders like this. Approaching the opponent with the intention of wasting time could result in hansoku. If you fast forward to this year's All Japan Championships, we have seen a little bit more of a proactive kendo where there's less time spent running the clock or doing things to stall the fight. And a lot of the tsubazeriai interactions are looking more like this. So you can see the rules have gotten a little bit more relaxed about the time being spent on tsubazeriai. So let's get back to the question, how can we avoid being penalized for staying in tsubazeriai too long or attacking at the wrong time? I think the answer to this is to be purposeful in your actions. When you approach your opponent in tsubazeriai, always have in mind getting an ippon rather than stalling the fight. In other words, be efficient implementing hikiwasa, understand how to create openings and have tension in tsubazeriai, because once that tension is gone, you should find a sharp and efficient way to get away from your opponent and re-engage into the fight. A couple of extra points that we got reminded of with the video of the provisional rules are things like this. You shouldn't separate from your opponent with your guard down or signal your opponent that you're going to move back. Also, to get a valid ippon, as you're separating, you shouldn't attack until you both reach proper distance. So don't try to be tricky. If you know that the disengagement is happening, don't try to attack as it's happening. Instead, just wait until you're in the proper distance and re-engage into the fight. These actions could result in a hansoku. Don't attack when you both are clearly separating, and always be engaged because there's a possibility that your opponent can actually attack you and get an ippon. I don't think that we need a new set of rules to promote a more proactive kendo, and as a matter of fact, I don't think that these rules are necessarily new. I think it's a little bit of more strict approach on some of the things that we already should be doing. I do in a way enjoy the fact that now we're being reminded that we're more accountable for doing things like playing the rules rather than staying in the fight. But I do think that there's still some fine tuning to do to make sure that we don't take away a very important aspect of Kendo and a very interesting part of the fight. As a matter of fact, I think we're getting a little bit more interesting fights, especially if you compare them to when the rules were first implemented. What I want to do now is I want to share with you a compilation of ippons done with Hiki Waza within the provisional rules. I specifically chose ippons from this year's European Kendo Championships. I thought it would make it a little bit more relatable. I don't know, let me know what you think about that. But I divided them in two sections. One, where the person doing the hikiwasa does it as a counter of the opponent's technique. And the second section, when the attacker comes in for a technique, ends up in tsubazeriai, and then does a hikiwasa. Some may be borderline hikiwasa, but I hope you enjoy this. I want you to let me know down in the comments, what do you think about the rules? How do you think they're being implemented? What are your thoughts? How can we improve ourselves with this set of rules? At the last World Kendo Championships at the team finals, Japan versus Korea, I remember being very disappointed on how much stalling there was done in the fight. As a matter of fact, I actually made a video that you can go check it out right here. If you have any questions or have anything to add or something that I forgot about these rules, please let me know down in the comments below. If you haven't, please subscribe to the channel so you know when I go live or when I post new videos. If you found some value in this video, take a second to please hit the like button and share this with someone you want their channel to improve. Thank you very much for watching.